Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the Ratio Quiz 2 review for class 603, 621, and 633. Our first question. Simrit wants to make lemonade. To make the flavor of lemonade that she likes, she needs to mix 3 cups of water with 3/4 cups of lemon juice. If she has 15 cups of water, how much lemon juice will she need? I'm going to ask you to pause the video right now, and after you've worked it out on paper, unpause the video and check your work with me as we go. So now that you're finished your work on your paper, let's set up a ratio table where we want to compare water to lemon juice. And I'm just going to write lemon. So we know that our ratio, she needs to mix 3 cups of water, it says it here, with 3/4 cups of lemon juice. So in our ratio table, we're going to continue adding values here until we get to our 15 cups of water. So on the top for water, I'm going to add by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And on the bottom for lemon juice, as I move to the right, I'm going to add 3/4 each time. So 3/4 plus 3/4 gives us 6/4. 6/4 plus 3/4 gives us 9/4. 9/4 plus 3/4 gives us 12/4. And 12/4 plus 3/4 gives us 15/4. My last step, I want to turn this improper fraction to a mixed number. 4 can go into 15 3 times, and the remainder is going to be 3. It goes in the numerator, 4 is our denominator. So our final solution, we're going to need 3 3/4 cups of lemon juice to make the lemonade. Number 2, which ratio has the same value as 7/9? Well, we're going to have to reduce our fractions to put it into lower terms. 14 and 27 do not have any common factors. My factors of 14 are 1, 2, 7, and 14. The factors of 27 are 1, 3, 9, and 27. So I can't reduce this any further. It's already in lower terms, and it's not the same as 7/9, so this does not have the same value. I'm going to erase this so I have some space here. Okay. Next, 49 to 81. Well, I'm going to try a different approach here rather than reducing and finding common factors. If I want to go from 7 to 9 to 49 to 81, for them to be equivalent and have the same value, I would have to multiply 7 times 7 to get 49, and we would have to multiply 9 times 9 to get 81. The thing is, the factors are not the same on either side. You notice I highlighted the 7 and the 9. That means these ratios are not equivalent. Let's move on to the next one. I'm going to use the same strategy. I'm running out of space here, so I'm going to write it below. 7 to 9, 35 to 54. 7 times 5 is 35, and 9 times 6 is 54. These are not the same either. 5 and 6 are not the same, so that means our ratios are not equivalent and they do not have the same value. Let's try the last one. 7 to 9, I'm going to write just above. 7 times 4 is 28, and 9 times 4 is 36. So these are equivalent. I'm going to use a different color here. Oh, I'm having trouble switching it. Anyways. So there we go. We multiplied the 7 and the 9 by 4 each time. Now if I wanted to go the other way and reduce 28 to 36, to reduce it, I'm going to divide both numbers by 4. So my 28 becomes 7, and 36 divided by 4 becomes 9. Now we've reduced it to the exact same ratio that was given in the question. So it's choice D. D has the same value, 28 to 36, as 7 to 9. Number 3, what relationships can you identify in the ratio table? A, the left column has an additive relationship of adding something to the previous number. B, the right column has an additive relationship of adding something to the previous number. And C, the multiplicative relationship is multiplying the left column by something to get to the right column. Pause the video right now to fill in those blanks, and then unpause it when you're done. All right, now that you've finished the work, on the left column, that's this side here, as I'm moving down, I am adding 4 to the previous number to get the following number. For example, 12 is 8 plus 4, and that gives me the previous number. 16 plus 4 gives me 20. So for part A, we're adding 4 to the previous number for the left column. For the right column, it looks like we're adding 12 to the previous number each time as we move down. So for part B, the right column has an additive relationship of adding 12 to the previous number. The multiplicative relationship going from left to right, right there. 8 times 3 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 16 times 3 is 48. 20 times 3 is 60. 24 times 3 is 72. So it looks like we're multiplying when we go from left to right. So the multiplicative relationship is multiplying the left column by 3 to get to the right column. Number 4, complete the ratio table. Pause the video right now and fill in the table, and then unpause it when you're ready to check your answers. Now that you're done, let's go through and check our solutions here. So I notice here in our table that on the left-hand side, 14 and 28 are multiples of 7. So if I fill in a 7 here and I increase by 7s, let's see if the table works. 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. It works. So we're increasing by 7s as we go down. On the right-hand side, I notice that 15 and 25 are multiples of 5. So let's check to see if 5 works. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And yes, the pattern continues all the way down if we add 5 to the previous number. So there's our completed table. Number 5. Compare the ratio tables. List the lightest shade of pink to the darkest shade of pink. Show work and explain how you determined your order. So again, pause the video, work it out on your own, and then unpause it when you're ready to check your answer. So as I'm looking at the tables, there are some things that I see that are in common, and I'm going to highlight those, and I'll try to do different colors. I notice that for mix A, I have 4 white paints to 20 red paints, and mix C has 4 white paints to 28 red paints. If we have the same white, but different amounts of red, the more red it is, the darker the shade of pink that's going to happen. So same white, more red, I'm going to put capital R, that gives us a darker shade. So that means mix C is darker because it has 28 reds compared to the 20 reds. Let's choose a different color now. Well, let's go with blue. I notice that comparing mix A to mix B, we have 6 white, but different amounts of red. So now we have to compare between these two. I know again that the more red paint there is, the darker it is. So that means mix B is darker than A. Darker Again, it has the same white. More red. And I apologize for my messy writing. So it looks like mix B and C now has to be compared because they're both darker than A. So let's try a different color. We'll go with red now. And if I'm comparing mix B and C, what I see in common is they both have 12 white and different amounts of red. So in this case, it looks like shade C is darker because it has more red. It has 84 reds compared to the 72. So that means if I'm ordering them from darkest to lightest, mix C is going to be the darkest, mix B the second darkest, and mix A the third darkest. We're going to go an even easier way than this, and I'm going to erase all of this. And now that we have a clean slate, instead of comparing back and forth between all the mixes, we're going to go with the unit rate and finding the multiplicative relationship. I can see that for going from my white paint to my blue paint, I'm always going to multiply by 5 for mix A. For mix B, we're always going to multiply by 6. And it looks like for mix C, we're multiplying by 7. So that means if I have 1 white paint, we're going to have 5 red paints for A. For mix B, if I have 1 white paint, we're going to have 6 red paints. And for mix C, if I have 1 white paint, we're going to have 7 red paints. So now that we have all the same amount of white, 1, 1, 1, now we can compare the amount of red. And we know that if the red is more, it's going to be a darker shade. So this would be the darkest because it has the most amount of red. Second darkest because it has the second most amount of red. And our mix A will be the third darkest or the weakest, we would say, or lightest shade. All right, I hope this helped, and I hope it helps you prepare for Tuesday's quiz. Have a great weekend. See you Tuesday.